Thank you, Todd, for a wonderful talk, as always. Um, yeah, so it's interesting, the notion of wasting your life, because how can you waste your life? But yeah, we have this idea that we've somehow wasted our life. It's very interesting. So thank you very much for your talk. Are there any questions? If you have a question, just unmute yourself.
I have a
You say,
question.
sorry.
uh, is there such thing as living life to the fullest?
You're always living life to the fullest. How could you not? Your life is your life. I mean, this idea that, it's things like, climbing Mount Everest, then I'm living my life to the fullest. And if I'd never climbed Mount Everest, my life is not lived to the fullest. That's somebody's idea. Right now you have your life. It's right here, right now. You're living your life to the fullest right now. That's what you're doing. It's not a matter of extreme experience or, anything like that. It's just, or, becoming a great concert pianist or whatever. It's just you're living your life right now. That is your life. That is your fullest life. So that's, living life to the fullest. That's what that means. It means just right now. What are you doing? Do it 100%, whatever it is. That's all. So your life is already lived to the fullest. So thank you for your question. There was another question. Who is that person? I couldn't see.
That was me, more or less the same question. I was going to ask, what do you mean you can't waste your life?
Your life is your life. How can you waste it? What does it
But
mean?
if you're not present in it 100%, could you not say that?
So, so present in it 100% is somebody's idea. If we try to be present in our life 100%, then we cannot be present because we have this idea of I, and we're checking, am I present? And then immediately you're not present.
Hmm.
So just open, don't know mind, just don't know mind. Don't know mind allows this poet to see this pile of horse shit and realize that it's actually beautiful. If we have a mind, then, if we're thinking, we say that's horse shit. I don't like horse shit. I don't want to step in it. I don't want to smell it. It's yucky. It's horse shit. It's waste. But if our mind is open, if we have this strong don't know, then we can see, oh, look at the light on this horse shit. But even if we say, look at the light on this horse shit, then we're already removed from the horse shit and from the light on it. So don't check. Am I wasting my life right now? Am I living my life to the fullest right now? The minute you do that, you're separate. You're not wasting your life, you're just living it separately. But to become one, to completely be where you are, to do that, then you have to be completely open and not check. How am I doing? Am I awake yet? You know? So this small self and big self that's Todd talked about, actually Zen Master Sung used to talk about that a lot also. So the small self is the self that's very constricted and it's always checking. Not only do people like me, do I like me? Do I approve of me? How am I doing? That mind. Oh, I just did terrible. Oh, I just did great. That mind, that's the small mind. That's the small self. But this big self isn't checking. It isn't judging. It's not labeling itself as being good or bad, awake or asleep. It's just doing 100%. So yeah. There's a poem by Rainer Maria Rilke which has a similar ending, except it's different. It says you must change your life. And it's a kind of similar thing in that except he sees a statue instead of horse shit. He sees a statue of Apollo. And he sees, it's just this beautiful Greek statue. And it somehow tells him, his life has been wrong. You must change your life, So we have this idea we must change our life. Our life changes. Yeah, sometimes we realize what I'm doing needs to change. Sometimes we realize what I'm doing needs to change. Sometimes we see, oh, I'm asleep right now. Oh, I can't see that horse shit in the field for what it actually is. Yeah, that's fine. That's a great motivation to practice when we realize that. Oh, I need to sit every day. Oh, I need to bow every day. Oh, I need to see clearly and hear clearly and speak clearly. I need to do all these things. I need to not live just for me. Yeah, we have these moments of insight. Oh, I must change. I need to wake up. But then don't hold those things. Let them be a spur to your action. People who've been addicted to some, whether it's alcohol or drugs or whatever, people have been addicted and then they change, then you know what that's like. There's this moment where you say, I must change. I must do things differently. And then you do them differently. And you have to keep at it. It's not something that you can just fall asleep at. But that's like everyone's life is like that. Every moment, every moment, every moment. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Live your life fully. Live your life completely, But on the other hand, each moment, by definition, you're doing the best you can. Next moment, maybe you can do better, but in this moment, be kind to yourself. Those things, they don't contradict each other. So yeah, our job is to wake up and wake up and wake up and wake up over and over and over again, moment by moment. Just do that. So thank both of you for your same question. Are there any other questions? Unmute yourself. And there are too many people on screen, so if you raise your hand, I might not see it. Okay, go.
Hi, I just wanted to say that when you talked about people with addiction problems, you said, I must change, and that's not what happens.
Okay.
That is not what happens, because what happens, speaking from personal experience and professionally as a counselor, what happens is the small mind is, I must change, I must change, I must change, and an inability to change, because that's the small mind.
That's right.
The transformation occurs when the person realizes that they need help from others. They need Sangha. Can't do it by themselves. Just wanted to add that.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so what you're saying is realizing that the big mind, we're not unconnected. We're not separate. Yeah, right, exactly. Although I did quit smoking on my own. But I had the help of a television program that told me how to do it. It laid out a thing that said, oh, you're this kind of smoker. Yeah, I was smoking 2.5 packs a day in my 20s, and I was really addicted. I couldn't leave the house without like a full pack of cigarettes. So usually I'd leave the house with like a pack and a half, because a half a pack wasn't enough. Like, I might be in an accident and couldn't access cigarettes for a day or something. So, yeah, and there was this TV program, and it said, you answered these questions, and it said what kind of smoker you were, and then it said how to. But yeah, even then, I needed somebody else. So thank you very much. Yeah, we are not separate. Exactly. Yeah.
So, Judy, you kind of spoke to this, I think, towards the end of the last answer, but I was thinking about how, some traditions of Buddhism talk about how being born a human is such a precious gift. this precious gift of being human. And isn't it wasting our life if we're not practicing, if we're not taking advantage of that and thinking about how can I help and living for others?
So you can't waste your life. If you say you waste your life, you have this idea of your life as a kind of object that you can waste. And you have this idea of yourself as something that can be improved. So that's why I say you can't waste your life. And yeah, we're human beings, so we think, oh, it's really wonderful to be humans. Maybe snails get around in the middle of the night, in a field, and they go, oh, it's so great to be a snail. What a precious rebirth to be reborn a snail, So we have to watch out for our human arrogance. And that, there's this idea that, humans are so great. I think a lot of animals, if you ask them, they say humans are not so great. Look what they do to us, look what they do to the planet. Look what they do to each other. So this idea, being reborn a human is this really special thing. Even this idea of being reborn, these are all ideas. So moment by moment by moment, what is in front of us? What do we do with it? Not, I have this precious life that I don't have to waste. Then you're already lost. But just moment by moment by moment, what is in front of us to do? And just doing that. That's the point. Without any taint of, somebody's judgment or your own judgment or anything like that. Just respond to the situation the best you can, which means completely, 100% respond to the situation. That's what that means. Okay? Yeah. Might be fun to be reborn a turtle. You can hide in your house, take your house with you all the time. They live a long time, why not? Anything else? Yes.
I wanted to say, I think Todd talked about the distraction, and I like the explanation you just gave, because I remember once you told me you can awaken from anything. So you don't waste your life. This is the point. You can awaken just by listening to a dog barking or whatever. Mm-hmm. And my question then is, how do you keep that state? I know it's a weird question, but I've heard it before. So I'm asking it also. How do you keep that state, like feeling like the poem of the beauty of the field, or watching a sunset and you have this thing of, wow, this moment of awakening. But how do you keep it and not being distracted? I guess it's the practice, but
you can't keep anything. You can't keep anything. So that's it. 1 minute you're looking at a sunset, another minute you're doing email, another minute you're cooking. You can't keep anything. So don't worry about it. This idea that there are these exalted states and we want to hang on to these exalted states, that's a real problem. So a long, long time ago, I've told this story before, but I'll tell it again. A long, long time ago, it would have been about 42 years ago, maybe. Before the Empty Gate Zen Center was established in Berkeley, it got started in someone's home. Diana Lynch and her husband Ezra, and it got started in their home way up in the Berkeley Hills. And I was there for the summer, and I was staying there, and Zen Master Sung came by to visit and to lead a retreat and just basically, get us all started. And this young man called, and he said that he'd visited, he'd practiced in Japan, and he'd gotten a certificate of enlightenment from some Zen master in Japan. And he wanted Zen Master Sung-san to check him out and tell him if he was really enlightened. And could he come by and visit? And so Diana explained this to Zen Master Sung-san, and he said, oh, fine, he can come and visit. And then when Diana hung up the phone, he looked at her and he said, those are the worst. Because what is this guy doing? This guy had a moment of awakening, and then he holds on to it. You know, he just holds on to it. I am awake, I am awake, I am awake. That means he's asleep, right? So don't hold anything. Also, sunset is no more special than shit. That's very important. Okay? So thank you. Are there any other questions?
I have just maybe a question that's related to everything you've been talking about. You read a lot that Zen is everyday mind. So is this what we're talking about? Everyday mind, just my everyday mind, moment to moment, going through my day, nothing special, just my everyday mind and confronting or dealing with each moment. So I don't know if you can comment on that. Sure.
Except the minute we call it everyday mind, we've put it in a category. But yeah, that's right. You know, there's that wonderful koan. Oh gosh, I don't quite remember it, but hold on, I'll find it if you wait a second. It's right here somewhere. I'm pretty sure it's in the Mumen koan. All right, let's see. Yes, everyday mind is the path. Page 26. So, Joju, as Zen Master Nam Chan, what is the true way? And Nam Chan answers, everyday mind is the true way. And then Joju says, then should I try to keep it or not? And Nam Chan says, if you try to keep it, already you are mistaken. And Joju says, if I do not try, how can I understand the true way? And Nam Chan says, the true way is not dependent on understanding or not understanding. Understanding is illusion. Not understanding is blankness. If you completely attain the true way of not thinking, it is like space, clear and void. So why do you make right and wrong? And that's such a wonderful place to stop. So thank you, everybody.